There we go. We got Red Hulk. We got the victory. Here it comes, big boy Skrull. We got the costume for Nick Fury, and we got a bunch of all this other stuff. Here it is, super-skrull. Let's build them up. Let's go do our first arena battle with our big boy super-skrull. That's right, Valley Club. We have finally unlocked our big boy super-skrull. What are the biggest lessons that we learned through our 2 attempts through Dark Dimension 6? In this video, I'm going to share with you my biggest tips that I have learned to help you whether you're struggling through your first or second attempt through Dark Dimension 6. And if you're ready for that and the mailbag questions of the week, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. For me, it is a surgery day. We're having surgery on the left knee. So in case you don't see a video from me on the channel for a while, that is why. But hopefully we should be back tomorrow. But if this is your first time here on the channel, hit that subscribe button, because on a normal week, there's going to be at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel. We got gameplay videos, question answer videos, news videos, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But yes, we did get through our timed run of Dark Dimension 6. It did take us almost a week to get through our second run to get that big boy super-skrull. So what are some of the best lessons that I learned? What are some of the best things that I did during my 2 runs of Dark Dimension 6 that'll help you through your either first or second run? Well, let's still go take a look at some of the things that you get after your first run. And these are some of the materials that you get after your first run, which means that during your second run, you can build up some other characters to make it a lot easier for you to get through. And let's talk about some of these nodes before we go into some of these teams. This first 2 unlimited nodes should be pretty easy with all of your characters. I think Apocalypse, Quicksilver makes this section very easy, especially with a lot of the other characters that you would bring into these other nodes as well. The second run, Global, takes a lot longer. The part that slowed us down a lot was the Global section. Once we got through Global section, we were flying through the rest of it pretty quick, but Global is still a challenge. Now, on our first run, because we had Quicksilver, because we had Apocalypse, this is actually a pretty fast section here, but we brought up some other characters for Cosmic. We one-shotted all of these nodes here. City, we used the same exact team. On our first run, we one-shotted the first and second node. I thought we could have one-shotted the third node as well. On our second run, it actually took us 2 attempts with a lot of resets. So even with a lot of resets, it still took us a couple attempts at this. The non-legendary Horseman was both one-shotted with the teams that we used. And then Legendary took a little while on this last node here. It took us, I believe, 2 or 3 attempts for this, but we did end up getting through it. Now, the teams that we ended up taking, we ended up bringing a few new characters to this. And as far as Global, I think some of the best decisions that I made for this was bringing up Apocalypse. I think that's a no-brainer character, but also saving up cooldowns or saving up the Mystic Gear so that we could bring in Quicksilver. I think with these 2 characters and the way that their cooldowns work in Dark Dimension 6, I think these are awesome choices. And if you don't know, as soon as these characters die, well, all their cooldowns reset back to 0 on the next day. So you're going to get Apocalypse's special and ultimate fully cooled down. You're going to get Quicksilver's special fully cooled down no matter where they ended their cooldowns. Now, Nemesis was a good choice. At the time that we brought him up, Death Seed was all over the place. They were all over Crucible, War. They were the Mutant Raid team. So this was a good choice at the time. And for Dark Dimension 6, I think Nemesis is a great choice. Outside of that, because we have the Extreme X-Men coming on, I think that is a character that that will give you a lot of value in Dark Dimension 6, but not a lot of value outside of that. Doom was an interesting choice. It made our run on some days very, very easy because of the ultimate that he does, all that turn meter that he's giving out. But on some days when his turn meter was not set up, well, it didn't do a lot. So what we did for Global, we brought up Peggy Carter. And that way we could sub out Dr. Doom. Peggy Carter does have some awesome synergy with Captain America. So those 2 work very well together. Now the Cosmic section, we replaced Ravager Stitcher, we replaced Photon, and we brought up Dormammu, we brought up super-skrull. I think building up Dormammu was an awesome choice, especially with the revives that he brought up. But one of the big things that I did not do in the first run, I did not use that ultimate in this section enough. Mainly, I was saving that ultimate so that we could revive characters, but with this team and the energy that was just flying around, we were just using ultimate over and over on the second run. So I'd recommend building a Val. I think that's a no-brainer choice. Same thing with Kestrel, same thing with Kang. Instead of building Photon, though, I may shift towards Dormammu and then just use your next character on Ravager Stitcher, and then you could build up super-skrull at the end. Photon will give you a lot of value outside of Dark Dimension 6, especially if you're using an arena. I don't see her a lot in arenas. So for me, Photon is more of a Cosmic Crucible defense character or a war character. So that's what I think we're building her up for. But in Cosmic Crucible, really struggles. Super-skrull obviously is a great choice, and I would recommend saving all your materials if you're very close to your first run to build up Super-skrull right away. You could use them in a second run because Cosmic was one of the toughest sections with the previous team that we used. And again, had a Photon and had Stitcher in place of Skrull and Dormammu. Took us a long time to get through this. With this team here, we one-shotted every single node, and it was pretty overkill on all that stuff. So this is a great team. Build up Dormammu because we have mythic characters. He is pretty expensive with your mystic gear. But because of the announcement in Dark Dimension 7, we're getting these mythic characters. I think the best choices for the mythic characters are going to be Apocalypse, Dr. Doom. We're going to get Super-skrull, Kestrel, and Dormammu. And hopefully it makes the global and cosmic sections a little easier because the devs don't have to account for that in their design. Now, City, we did exactly the same characters. We brought up nobody new for City. I do think this is a great choice for your City characters. All of them do have some value right now, except for maybe Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative actually had his value fall before we actually decided to bring him up. But because of the synergy that he has with Vulture, because of the synergy that he has with Robbie Reyes, the synergy that Kraven has with Robbie Reyes, the synergy that Vulture has with Robbie Reyes, this is a very, very good team and will make the City section very, very easy. And for the non-legendary Horseman section, this team worked very good. It smashed both of those two nodes, one-shotted on their first and second attempt. A lot of it did revolve around Nova and getting his battlefield effects up as soon as possible. We have a nice stun here with Black Cat. We have some minions that could mitigate some damage from Nick Fury, but I think the main thing that we did, we moved Nick Fury back to healer. We kept Doc Ock as a healer, and we moved Nova to Raider because we wanted more vulnerability applied. We wanted to keep Green Goblin as a striker, and same thing with Black Cat as a striker as well. And for the legendary or Apocalypse section, the only character that we brought up was Red Hulk. I wanted to bring up Morgan Le Fay, and I guess it's a good thing that we didn't because it ended up that Nightcrawler used that same mini unique Osmium as Morgan Le Fay, so we didn't end up bringing up Morgan Le Fay. We brought up Red Hulk. We didn't have a lot of other bio characters to build up. And the good thing that allowed us, it allowed us to get both the battlefield effects for Nova for our side, the battlefield effects for the other team with Red Hulk. But the main thing that it did, it allowed us to only use 3 revives instead of 5 if we wanted to use that node again. And we did need to use 2 attempts on this last node because this legendary boss node is a pretty tough node. I think we did need to do 2 refreshes on this node to finish it. But this was the team we used. Some days we use Goblin and Ock. I think they work well together. And then the other attempt we use Red Hulk and Nick Fury. Now looking at some other characters for Globo that you may think of bringing in, I think the only other choices that make sense from a value in Dark Dimension and some further value, there's 2 characters here. Spider Weaver, which a lot of people were saying build her up, but I was like, I don't know. She takes Mystic Gear. I'd rather use them for Icarus to build up Icarus, not for Dark Dimension 6, but just because Icarus is, you want as much damage on Icarus. So Weaver, we didn't end up building her up, but that can make that global section a little easier for you. Other character that I was thinking of is Gambit, but again, with that Osmium, you may want to save that for Nightcrawler, depending on where you are with your other Osmium characters. But the rest of these characters, either they're not going to be very good in Dark Dimension, or they don't have a lot of value outside of Dark Dimension. So nobody really stands out to me. And there's another character, though, that you brought up that was very valuable for you in Dark Dimension 6, or that you're using a lot outside of Dark Dimension 6 that makes sense to build up anyway, even though they may not be great in Dark Dimension 6. Let me know in the comments. As far as Cosmic, I think we brought up the best characters there for our second run. Kestrel, Super-skrull, Dormammu, Kang, Val. I think those are the best characters that you can bring in. If you're doing your first run again, though, maybe Icarus will be good, or maybe one of these other Bifrost characters to pair with Val, get you through that Cosmic section a little easier. Stitcher is a great choice, very cheap, but doesn't have a lot of value in Dark Dimension 6, has 0 value outside of Dark Dimension 6. And we already mentioned Photon. I don't use her in Arena anymore. She's great in War, she's great in Cosmic Crucible, but she sucks in Dark Dimension 6. As far as City, other choices that you may want to bring in, Lizard was not around at the time we started our first run in City, so Lizard is a great choice. Mysterio is another great choice as well, but Mysterio is a little expensive. takes that Mystic gear as well. And Spider Slayer, not a great character on the Superior 6 and probably not too great in the Superior 6 as well. Probably the character that's probably going to drop the most on that team, but he does have that tag and can help you through this. And as far as non-legendary or horseman, the only other choice that I would bring up from this section would be Omega Red, and that's more for the value in Dark Dimension 6. Not a lot of use in Weapon X anymore, but using him more as a plug-and-play character right now in Cosmic Crucible. And last but not least, obviously, we would have brought up Morgan Le Fay if we could have, but yeah, the resources a little too much to bring her up. Hopefully this helped you in deciding which characters you want to use resources on to build up for Dark Dimension 6 or any of the previous Dark Dimensions that you may be on. But it is now time to go into the mailbag for your questions of the week. Hey, Valley, yours truly, the Blitzking, just got engaged. Congratulations, my brother. My question for you today is, what is the future going to look like for the Tangled Web team? Will they gain a new member or two, kind of like the Tangled, kind of like how Undying recently got Zuggernaut? And Valley, I'm getting married on the 14th. Please shout out my brother. Hey, congratulations. That is pretty quick. Engagement to married. That's awesome, my brother. And hopefully everything goes well with that. Hopefully it's not too stressful for you around the holidays. But as far as what is Tangled Web, all right, my thoughts for the Tangled Web. What will they do? I mean, Weaver seems like they're kind of going out of style now. Same thing with 2099. They were supposed to be for Cosmic Crucible, and maybe we'll get some 2 members down the road. Noir has kind of got a revitalization with the new rules that we have in Room 1, but Weaver's still a decent character to build up. Maybe not for Dark Dimension. I didn't build it up for Dark Dimension, but I did put a diamond on Weaver because I do think that she has some value. So hopefully down the road, we get a full team, or maybe they just extend their bonuses to Spider-Verse and we could kind of plug and play characters. But let me know in the comments what you would rather see, 2 new members or have them remain as a plug and play team. Hey, Valley, you and I both know that Texas is the greatest. Now for my question, I have as close as 10,000 silver promotion credits. I've been getting a ton of Elite 7s with a new Diamond Orb. Will the devs introduce a new conversion system for silver and gold promo credits to silver diamond credits, preferably a way we aren't getting ripped off? I think if they eventually do that, we will get ripped off. I mean, silver promotion credits, they're virtually useless right now. I don't know how many I have in the game right now, but let's go check. I'm kind of curious right now. How many do I have in my account? Over 10,000 of these, and I don't think I'm going to spend these at all. I hope they do introduce something for these silver promotion credits because I don't think I'm going to spend one ever. But yeah, I think if they do that, the conversion will be horrible. I think we will be getting ripped off, but I'd rather be getting ripped off than have them sit in my account doing nothing. As far as the gold promos, I'm still upgrading a lot of the characters that I probably wouldn't have if they didn't do this diamond upgrade system. But that is it. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. Hopefully surgery recovery goes quick and I'm back tomorrow. But if not, hopefully we'll be back as soon as possible. Hopefully this video did provide you some value. If it did, leave it a like. It is free for you and helps out the channel. And if you want to check out what are the biggest mistakes that I made going into Dark Dimension, well, check out the video up there. I'll see you guys next time though. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.